Agents Mulder and Scully, FBI.
So, Mulder, where's your little partner?
She wouldn't come. She's afraid of her love for you.
She's tasty.
Hey, Frohickey, can I borrow those?
If I can have Scully's phone number.
Good evening, everybody.
Solid clip.
Yeah.
Hope everybody had a good week and good to get going with this show. I love this. This is my favorite thing we do, X-Files. So this will be fun. And coming to us from an undisclosed location, Beard of Liberty.
Howdy. I'm not only off camera, apparently I'm not animated. I can't figure it out. I'm almost as old as Roman and Shieldwall, so I'm going to start using that as an excuse.
Hey, we're going to be like episode 1 in here pretty soon, except for, Maria.
No, I do enjoy going back and watching some of the X-Files. I never did really watch a lot of it on TV when it was new. So this has been a lot of fun going back and watching some of these. Recognize some faces in at least one of these episodes, but I'm sure we're going to cover that here in a little bit. So without further ado, let's do further.
Alrighty. And Roman, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I missed last time because some stupid thing was happening in my life, because a lot of stupid things happen in my life. It's just one of those things. It's so I'm gonna get a haircut tomorrow. I was trying to grow it out because I wanted to get the Langley look, the older Langley look, but Mrs. of the Empire kept saying, you just start looking more like Frohookie every day. And I'm like, damn it, honey. So, I'm losing the battle of Langley to Frohookie. It's all right. But thanks for having me tonight. I enjoyed watching it again. I will say I liked episode 12 far more than episode 11, but we will of course get into the details of these things. So thank you for having me, my friend.
Yeah, good to have you. Yeah, the episode 11, those old people all hopped up on the mushrooms, man. And
so
welcoming back Maria. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's been a few months since last year that you invited me over. And I have to agree with Roman. I have to agree with Roman. Episode 11 was interesting. I definitely enjoyed episode 12 much more.
Yeah, I was getting it mixed up with another episode where a guy was like had his arm is like in the military and had his arms and legs amputated, but was able to like go out of his body or something. That's a good one. But yeah, it definitely 12 was a better episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And Shieldwall, hello there.
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be back on here with everybody. I guess I'm glad to be on here with Roman. It happens.
Why?
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, got it.
With Beard and Maria. I couldn't remember if I was on a stream with her previously or not. I feel like I was, but I can't remember. Oh, and yes, congratulations on 500 subs, Jacob.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude!
Yes, congratulations!
Right, congrats!
Big,
oh, there you go,
my brother. You're up to 509 now, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah.
515 now.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Well, awesome. My computer's old and it's not that fast. It's
yeah, it was weird. It was
refresh.
It was weird. I was like, what was it? Oh, was it? Yeah, it was Sunday night. Sunday night, I like put out a bulletin. Hey, I'm like 28 subscribers away, and 7 o'clock, a power junction near me went out, and power went out, and I woke up the next morning and it was like 490. I was watching it all day and just all came together, and 500. It was awesome. It was fun to watch that.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah,
well
I'm
deserved.
thankful to everyone who's subscribed and all the new people that have subscribed. That's great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah. Yep, thank you.
Yeah,
I still need like 1,500 watch hours to be able
watch
to
hours, man. Those watch
half-
hours are
apply.
Oh, those are terrible. But that's half the watch hours
They are.
already, because it's 3,000 watch hours, unless you do
Mhm.
shorts.
Yes, right.
But those are hard to get as well.
Yeah,
it's like
I don't have
a
to do
million,
shorts.
a
3
million
million.
views on your shorts.
3
yeah, it's like
million.
absurd.
Just for the
Yeah,
first
shorts.
milestone.
Shorts. It gives you two things. You have to have one or the other. You have to have the 3,000 watch hours or watches of shorts. So yeah, I got everything but the watch hours. So I'm got to get that going.
I think
But yeah,
that's a hurdle for a lot of channels.
Oh yeah.
Because I've almost never heard of anybody.
Yeah, you gotta keep
I got
it
all my
up.
watch hours. I just need the subs. It's usually always the other way around. But
Yeah, as soon as you get the watch hours and you keep going, keep a regular video up, it should stay. But you got to keep those videos going.
Yeah.
Well, I heard
Or
of
it'll
It's like
people.
drop
Father
back
Christopher
down.
Miller. He just made
Yeah, I heard of people
the
that
Father.
got the watch hours and everything, but you have to maintain so many within a certain time period or something. Because I can't remember what channel that happened to.
Wow.
Yeah, where like they got the subs and the watch hours, but then something happened and they weren't maintaining their watch hours or something weird. Not really sure.
Yeah,
who knows with YouTube? I don't have a channel.
It's always something with YouTube.
But yeah, anyway, these 2 episodes had a lot of people that I've seen in a bunch of other stuff, which is always a thing with these X-Files shows. Is I remember that person, I know that person, and
yes,
like 75% of the people on X-Files wind up in Stargate SG-1.
I mean, especially the early seasons of X-Files, because that's when they were still filming up near Vancouver, where so much of the sci-fi was filmed in the 90s and early 2000s.
Right. Also, as far as seeing these when they first came out, for me, it was very hit or miss because I was stationed in England at the time that this show was happening, this particular 2 episodes. And I want to say, if I look up their production dates, I was in Turkey. So,
oh Lord,
wow.
Yeah, I was always going to Turkey on and off. We had like a 45-day rotation down there and then back for 45. So it was 45 there, 45 back, and just keep going back and forth. And then we started going to Italy because the whole Bosnian thing was heating up. Like back, that's when the Yugoslavia fractured. So we spent a lot of time in Italy, because it's just this little skip across the Adriatic there. And then, doing stuff out of there. So then it became, I do 45 in Turkey, go back to England, and then I go do 45 or 50 or 60 days in Italy and then go back. So it's a lot of moving around and stuff.
Shieldwall, do you remember when the Roman Empire fell? I'm sorry, that was mean.
But yeah, so I guess the point of that whole story was that sometimes I would see the episodes when they aired, and sometimes I wouldn't. It was real weird.
Right.
Plus, we had to pay the TV tax for BBC and all that other stuff.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
So it was
all right. Weird. Here we go. Pull up the episode here. Wind chimes from Beard.
I have to remember to mute myself so the wind chimes don't just overtake everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was for effect. I wasn't sure.
I thought he was in there. He's like, more cowbell.
Oh, you would know if I had a cowbell. Let me tell you.
Yep, the old cowbell. Somebody was saying I should make Beard shave, and then he would be Beard of Chin, or Chin of Liberty.
I will quit
Chill.
your show right here.
You do it every week on Roman Show with the memes.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
I
We
do.
know what's on.
That's how you know if you made it
Also,
big
shout
on,
out to
The cow.
Gord King keeping our chat alive.
that's how you know if you made it big, Maria. If
Okay.
Jacob puts you in a meme, one of his memes, then put your face on somebody's
Okay.
show or something.
And you know he likes you if he puts you in an unflattering meme.
Yep.
If it's really flattering, you need to be
Exactly.
concerned about your friendship. If
Right.
Oh,
it's
boy.
unflattering, you're good.
Okay.
Unless it's Roman, because his
I'll-
face literally goes
I'll
on
keep-
anybody.
I'll keep my
It's
eyes
anything.
open from now on.
It's horrible.
I meant to look up this
Okay.
fight to see if I could place the exact
Oh,
date
who
that
it
this was
was?
supposed to be happening.
Okay.
Something at Caesar's Palace, but
I
I don't
don't
know. I don't.
recognize
Yeah, I don't know who the fighters are.
Yeah, they get
Okay,
these-
so
These-
I have
the
to
orderlies
disclaimer. I had to skip parts of the first part of this episode because they were just disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part,
the
the
subject
lady
matter.
part, the lady part. I just
Yeah.
and I could not watch this at night for the life of me.
So
Yep. And
this
here's our
actress,
first character that went on to be on Stargate.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's Terrell Rothery, and she was she went on to be a doctor on
Dr.
Stargate.
Fraser.
Actually, I
Oh,
think she
Yep.
in the earlier seasons she might have like guest starred as some other character,
I got it.
and then they put her in there.
So
This
from
is
nurse
episode
to-
season 2, episode 11.
Yeah.
It's called Excelsis
Excelsis.
Dei.
Excelsius Day.
Yeah.
Excelsis Dei.
Yep.
So we
Two-
got
two
the
of-
three
two of the kind of
nurses.
people you'd expect to find here.
So she
Love
went from nurse to doctor in Stargate. That's quite a promotion.
She's
Yeah,
on a secret military
she's also
base.
she's a captain in the Air Force in that too
There-
as well.
Oh, there
Mhm.
you go.
Or is she a major? I can't remember. She's an officer. So that's also a bigger step up than just being a
He's
nurse.
also the focal point of one of my absolute favorite SG1 episodes, and I won't go any further because I know it's an old show, but I ain't spoiling it.
Right.
Yeah, she did really good in that. And so this is probably at least 6 or 7 or 8 years prior to when she shows up on that show. Maybe even longer.
Yeah, something like
Mm.
that.
Yeah, so
I should look that up.
let's see.
She makes
She's
them
kind
stop
of mean
watching
to
the-
these old
the
guys, though.
boxing match.
Although
Well,
if she,
Well,
Yeah,
look
granted.
at how they treat her.
This old
granted,
guy's a little
granted,
pervy.
It's
he is
green.
very pervy.
Mm.
Yeah, they wanted to watch the
Yes.
boxing match. Gunn, the other
Yeah.
orderly, said, he said he'd let me finish the match. Do I look like Gunn? Well, clearly not. So she straps the old guy down.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
in The Shadow.
Okay.
What else he
That's
was
it. Oh,
busy in?
that's where I recognize them. I'm like, I know this guy.
Oh yeah, he's been in tons of stuff.
Oh, the Shadow. Of course. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, actually.
Also, Terrell was she's Jean Loring in the TV show Arrow, the CW show Arrow.
Mm.
If anybody's seen
Well,
that.
no,
I
I
don't
haven't
remember
seen that
that.
one.
Arrow started out really good, and then it really fell off hard.
Nosedives, yeah.
Yeah. But the first couple seasons were
So,
decent.
yeah, she has to
Mhm.
clean out a bedroom of a patient that died.
Mhm.
And we'll
That
just
is one reality of
go through the
Mm.
entire scene. We'll
Yeah.
just
Mm. That thing was scary, man.
so why they have the restraints is because this is
Yeah,
a
this is the
hospital
scary
for
part.
people with dementia and
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, and they can get confused
Hmm.
and not know who they're with, and they get real combative because they don't know what's going on. So
Mm.
they go into fight or flight or whatever. and they
yeah,
think,
it's not a punitive thing. It's not. They're not
right.
just doing it to be mean.
Mhm.
They are doing it to protect themselves.
Also
and
to
the
keep them
patient.
from like at night they'll get up and start wandering around and stuff.
Yes, which is not
You know,
not
Mhm.
safe.
because if you don't watch them, they'll wind up literally like 25 miles away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, and this hotel,
Yeah.
this hotel,
Yeah.
this old folks' home isn't. They yeah, this is early. Remember, they don't have closed circuit in all the rooms. This is
Mhm.
just something's gone wrong when you hear it down the hall or if you're there to see it.
Mhm.
Right. So she's got to clean this bed out.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay. Oh well. But I guess.
Really,
Yeah, and she gets assaulted by an entity.
Mhm.
yes, and I mean, and this isn't actually unfamiliar territory. There have been movies where you've seen things of a similar, very. It's a a very
it's like,
scary
it's like a
thing. The
demon or
invisible
something.
entity.
Right.
Mhm.
Assault, conducting an assault. It's terrifying.
Now, when this first happened, okay, like so the bed will move over by the door and block it.
Yes.
I was like,
Mhm.
is there a magnet or something, like a really powerful magnet pulling the bed over somehow because it's metal framed? And then she like gets pulled over to it, and then the straps open up on the bed,
Oof.
and I thought, okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's somehow like something getting back at her for restraining that old guy. You know what I mean? I
Well,
didn't
what I
realize
had
where
thought,
it was going at first.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, we have, I think, similar views of this. I thought it was because the old guys exchange a look in the
Mhm.
room
Yeah.
when she walks out. So when all this occurs, it's like kind of you're making that mental leap to, oh, one of them is doing this. And quite honestly, the follow up to this also leads you to the same conclusion. The follow up scene with Mulder and Scully when they're doing their interview after this. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah. And I'm just going to skip to the credits and we'll move out.
Like I said, there were interesting things in this episode. It's still far from one of my favorite episodes. This is I would say there have been worse because there have been worse, but it's definitely a mid-tier at best.
Mm.
This is interesting. I don't hold that shot for a second, Jacob. I don't know what was going on at the time, but what you have represented outside the FBI building there are most of the flags that have been the United States flags. If you look, you see different flags
the
there.
different.
Those
Yeah.
are all
Mhm.
United States flags, but they're all from various versions of the country. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Well, we know what kind of
I
flags
know,
they use these days.
Not anymore, my friend. Not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, as far
My
with
office.
with her character and like what happens to her, it doesn't like I thought there would have been more of a time jump, but not really. Like the time between
No.
and she's in this video to when they get up there is pretty quick.
It
Maybe-
is.
maybe
And
a week.
I think
like that.
Dana's reaction to the video to this case is because of her abduction. She's seeing things from a different lens than Mulder is.
And
going
Mulder
into
says
this.
some really kind
Yeah.
of creepy
He
stuff
does,
to us in here. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, that's you're not that kind of video or something like that."
I
Or
hope
my video
you're not
drawer.
watching the tape that I left in there.
Right.
No, I put that. It doesn't belong to me. I put that in the drawer with the other tapes that don't belong to you.
Well, apparently, canonically, he has a certain addiction, so makes sense.
You're
Oh my
giving
gosh.
perverts a bad name, Beard.
So she did.
Yeah,
get-
she took a beating.
Yeah, she took.
These
There's-
effects are good. So
Yeah.
there was 13 stitches in the lip, if I remember correctly. It's quite a bit.
Right.
Mm. So she has all the signs of being assaulted,
Mhm.
physical signs of being assaulted, like
Yeah.
yeah.
And that is good makeup, actually.
Mhm.
Kudos to the makeup team.
Mm-hmm.
When Mulder turns, I need to get a
Yeah.
Mulder tie rating on this one, by the way.
That was
There he
actually
is.
not
Oh,
terrible.
that's not bad.
I don't think
It
that one's bad.
matches-
That one's
it
not
matches
bad.
Yeah,
his
that's
suit.
not terrible.
It doesn't look like drapes or carpet from an old
No,
hotel.
on an ugly scale, I would call that like a 2. A 2.
He is
A
wearing
solid
a-
probably being a 1, but yeah, that's only about a 2. Not
Yeah, he's
definitely
wearing
not.
like
not
a subtly striped shirt of
It's
that
true.
matches his jacket. Yeah.
it's
He's
just
pretty
the hair.
neutral
Does he
in
like
his look.
choose?
He's got
his-
that duck hair.
like, does the actor actually
Yeah,
choose?
he's always
his-
got the deck here. That's
I'm
his
not
style.
sure.
I don't think so, Maria,
I
because if
don't
he
know.
did, he would not choose those ties. Almost
And
certainly.
then-
I say
And
almost
now,
certainly 'cause I don't
my
know.
second question is it on purpose that they choose these god awful ties on him?
It was the style.
That
back
I think
then.
is certain. I think
Okay.
If you were
Well-
like,
Yeah.
if you were in a position of wearing a suit back in those days, that was the style. They wanted
Ugly
shoulder
to,
ties.
pads, ugly ties.
yeah,
Yep.
ugly ties and shoulder
Ugly
pads.
ties, shoulder
Like
pads.
shoulder pads, yes, but ugly ties. Okay, fine, fair.
Yeah. Oh no, we don't
My
forget.
dad had a few.
No, we don't
because
forget. No.
we know. I was there 3,000 years ago. I was there.
The thing is, for most part, men's suits don't change drastically.
Yeah,
They
It's
change some,
accoutrements and cuts.
right? Yeah, and then the slacks will
Yeah.
change quite a bit.
So
Well,
now they're doing
the
another
90s,
live
the-
interview. with her.
Everything. The
The 90s.
early 90s, everything was like baggy.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
clothing
Yes, everything was
seemed
big.
to
I
be
remember,
baggy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, everything was big. It was not good.
So they go
Whatever
and talk
decade
to the
has.
nurse, right?
Yeah, they're talking to her first.
Yeah.
They have not gone to the
Yeah.
administration yet.
And she's like,
So I mean, this
No, it's like I remember that they said, well, it can be that she just blocked out the person who actually assaulted her.
Right.
She's like, you
Yeah.
think that I would not see? It's like I have a tough job on itself. It's like,
I'm actually
Oh, this-
surprised that she's back there working
yes,
after that happened.
that also
Yes.
surprised me.
Yeah.
I thought thought she would have left.
Yeah, her description I think is actually quite interesting. Talking about the scent, the old men smell a certain way, all of that, all of the accompanying data to go to substantiate. Although she has, unfortunately, aside from the beating,
Mhm.
no physical evidence. The things that you would bring to
Yeah.
a DA to say, hey, we have a case because we have this.
Well, the other thing is that the person that she's saying possibly did it,
Yep.
they're all like old men. They're
I think the dude is only like 75 though. In this, he looks like he's 100.
when you're 75.
Sorry,
in the
sorry,
90s,
sorry.
If you were
Sorry.
75 in the 90s, it was like you're 100.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, right.
but actually, I was surprised that they got some decent older actors to be in this. That
Yes,
Nowadays,
looks pretty good here.
I don't. when
Roman.
I'm s-
Wait, who? What? Sorry, I was responding to Nadia. I apologize.
Yeah,
So that
he
means I was only able to
Oh,
keep
that's
track
okay.
of one thing, and that was it. I've lost track of literally the last 20 minutes of our conversation. I'm kidding. You're talking about Scully. Scully looks pretty good here. She's got the good Scully hair. She doesn't have the frumpy Scully hair, which happens. Nice suit. But her suits are usually pretty good. It's only when she was wearing that oversized overcoat during the pregnancy episode. What the hell? That it was a real problem.
Right.
because she's
Yeah, it's got a
she's
nice
over-
curve with the hair under the chin. It's good. It's quality.
Yeah, she's past the pregnancy now.
Yes. Well, here we go. This scene. Oh, zoinks. Someone was getting. So he's only like 75, but dude, no. That's not that far
That's
off.
not a 75-year-old.
I don't know what happened.
Kudos to the makeup. Kudos to
Yeah,
the
no,
makeup.
Russ.
It's like that scene. It's like that scene in the Naked Space Vampire Lady movie.
Life Force.
Oh yeah.
Life Force. When the guy is getting his whole life sucked out and he just shrivels up, he looks like this guy, except this guy has a smile.
Oh, maybe he's an older actor playing a younger role.
Playing a 75-year-old, he's going younger. Yeah. Good for him. Nice shot, my
Because
man.
if you had
Oh, there he is.
If you had to guess this guy's this guy's age, I would say he's in his 80s.
I put your picture up here.
Yeah, he put up a picture up, Jacob.
Yes, that one. It's not dissimilar.
I think looking at the actor's birth and death date in IMDb and the air date for this episode, he would have been about 85. The actor himself.
That's what I'm saying. This guy looks 85.
Yeah, he looks over 80. He does not look 75.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you were real close.
I'm not 84. Oh, the man. So then he wants to show then he's like, hey, look at my plumbing. It doesn't even work.
You see?
And everybody's like, dude, bro, stop it. It's just mean.
But his,
I'm blinded.
He can barely walk. There's another guy that they think might have, had a hand in it, and that guy has like a hip joint out of whack, and stuff. So it's obvious right away that none of these old guys did it.
And yet she still claims that it was this guy.
Right.
And he's doing all what if I told you you were a lovely lady and I wanted to show you some affection? Would you be offended?
Yeah, but dude, his way of showing affection, like,
he is not good. He's going to
No.
Well, you know how if you've ever dealt with really
they
old people, they grew up in a different time. They have a different filter. They don't care anymore, and they haven't kept up with evolving, like what words are not good.
Oh yeah, with words, yes, but I think that physical contact. I think these men grew up in an age where gentlemen actually treated a lady, delicately. I would say. It's just like you said, now that they're older, they genuinely don't care. It's like they do whatever the heck they want.
Right.
Yeah.
But also there was a time when if you went to like a bar or something and they would get a little handsy and all air quotes in good fun and just that's how it was back then.
Oh yeah.
And they just
nobody got offended. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Different tie.
Yeah.
Oh, another tie.
That tie is not as good as the last tie. That is like a Christmas tree
That's
tie. There are little Christmas trees all over his tie.
It's a different suit.
It is, but at least it matches the suit.
Yeah, different suit.
And the shirt. He's got some in the first season. He had some terrible stuff. That is true. Dementia creating a different personality.
It does.
Right. Because you can't remember who you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the past. So your life experiences aren't there to guide you anymore. Like, growing up with what your parents taught you and things like that.
I lived with a person who was starting off dementia once. And it was very painful for her to realize that she was not remembering. Mm-hmm. She's like, I can't remember what I'm doing. And she was a pharmaceutical, so she had to memorize a lot of things. She relied heavily on her memory, and she was very not even slowly. She was quickly losing her memory. I would say at about a year and a half, it was a drastic change. It was very painful. But
it is difficult. As I mentioned, I worked for about a little bit over a year in an assisted living, specifically memory care for Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. And folks had good days, they had bad days. They were sweet as an angel. 5 minutes later, I was getting slapped in the face. And I had to smile and not get angry, because once you start understanding that a lot of people in that instance are just acting on instinct or out of fear, because they're aware enough to understand that they're not aware, that if that makes any kind of sense. And it does progress
Yeah.
very differently with each individual person. Some people it's very fast. Some people it's long and drawn out. I saw it happen with my grandmother and my aunt. In addition to the folks that I actually worked with, it's tough. Actually, some of the parts of this episode like hit home with some of the things that I dealt with. And granted, yes, this is an extreme. It's a different time, different method of working with people. We no longer treat people like this, but still, it did hit home in a few instances.
And it was 93. This wasn't like the 1890s.
Right. True.
They had him chained to a wall or something.
Yeah.
But
so this is the like head person of the home, and she's saying that the nurse is just wanting a payout.
Oh yeah, because she's filed a bunch of like
she filed a small lawsuit.
Yeah, lawsuit and also disability
Yeah.
claims and stuff like that.
She also has no idea what's going on in her facility.
Oh gosh, no.
No.
She doesn't know.
No. She thinks it's all handy dandy, but really they do mistreat the old people in there.
Yeah, they
Right.
do.
Well, it's because the orderlies are kind of buttheads. The other thing is this used to be a really big state-run facility that had like all kinds of funding, and then they pulled the funding, so they closed down a bunch of the wings and then got rid of most of the staff. Like you don't even have medical people on like there. The doctor comes in every once in a while, whereas before he used to have doctors on staff. And so this guy is drinking this kind of pill, and him and the other guys are always, I want more, I need more.
Yeah.
So you know that's a something. You don't know exactly what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's bringing out the file on the nurse.
Yeah. So this is a part what happened. So what happened to the nurse? So she had an episode or I had asked like for other things previously in her previous job. I didn't catch that.
Oh no, I didn't either.
No, and it wasn't. It was like she wanted certain. It was like days off, longer than they wanted to give her for certain things.
Okay.
None of it was wildly extreme, but it was things that they may have found objectionable just administratively.
Okay. Oh, now the guy's choking himself or something. Or being choked.
Yeah.
Because you could see like the dent in here, like somebody was actually choking him. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who was accused of the incident.
Yeah.
And he got a gun out there in the hallway just watching like a weirdo.
So he died.
And this is
the doctor.
Yeah. Oh,
doctor's more worried about his, his experiments.
Yeah, and he's obviously not conducting the experiments well. So he's giving them, I forget what the name of the drug is. It's something that's been kind of dismissed, but in these patients, it's showing these remarkable results. Are you not doing blood work on your patients, Doc? I'm just asking as a, random spectator as to how things work.
I guess he was confident that nobody would give them out anything else. So it's like
still, but you have to test to see what the drug that you're giving them might be doing to their other, biochemistry stuff. Again, speculating. And then there she is.
Okay.
And he's taking the dead guy's portion. He's like, well, he doesn't need it. No more for you.
But but doesn't this guy kind of connect the dots that weird things are happening when and that he may be the culprit?
So, because you realize right now that Gunn is the guy giving them something else.
Yeah.
We don't know what the something else is, but we know
I thought he was giving him more of whatever this doctor was.
Oh, the doc had?
Yeah, I thought he was giving him more of it, and it was making him better, but it was also like making him, like nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in the show, because we haven't seen any of the like other weird stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, but what we get is that these patients were basically not quite in a vegetative state, but they were not nearly as advanced in what they are able to do now, because they can hold regular conversations, and they're there for
like this guy's an artist.
All effects and purpose.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to do art anymore, and he's just able to do it now.
He was an artist for the WPA, which was a Depression era workers department. It's kind of throws me off to think about that. If you're talking about people in their 70s and 80s and 93, they were born and went through the Depression, World War II, all that. Now it's very rare to meet somebody from that era. They'd be in their 90s now,
Yeah.
But there were people, living their normal lives in their late 60s, 70s, and early 80s that lived through that period.
And kudos to the acting of this old lady.
She's been a lot of stuff. I've seen her in other things. Actually, let me look her up.
Was she in Awakenings?
Maybe.
I think she was. No, that's just not nice. She got typecast as a old lady in a home.
Yeah. And the orderlies are being nice, but they're being kind of dicks at the same time. Don't make me embarrass you in front of your friends. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Because they want to make them go. It's time to eat, so they make them go eat. They don't want to go eat, but it's time to go. So Mulder is convinced this is all made up at this point. He doesn't think anything's happening.
Here we go. Let's see.
Oh, there's another tie.
It is a little bit unusual to hear Mulder be the voice of reason.
So her name was Frances Bay. She died in 2011 at the age of 92.
Wow.
She was born in 1919.
Wow.
My grandpa was born in 1922.
Yeah, the old guy who was talking about his plumbing earlier was born in 1909.
Mugshot. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was in her 70s.
He's got a droopy eye there.
Yeah.
That's just a bad still.
Yeah.
Bad screenshot. So Scully's basically explaining, something more is at work here.
Yeah.
Maybe environmental within the facility, mold, some kind of, stuff that we haven't seen. But something.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Mulder.
She's not.
Mulder's like,
oh, okay.
You spent too much time with me. You're starting to sound like me.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me about this is that Mulder, in the beginning, Mulder's like, nah, it can't possibly be any of this stuff. When normally he's the one that's like, aliens, and then she's usually the one that says
aliens,
no.
But
and then
it's aliens.
And then he comes around like after the second half of the show.
And then she kind of pulls back though, which I thought was weird. But we'll get there. This, and again, she doesn't want to eat whatever this is. It didn't actually look that bad when you see it on the other guy's plate. This looks terrible. But the other guy's plate, it looks kind of like a Swanson chicken dinner from the...
oh, gosh.
Exactly. It's just awful. But, I don't know. And I don't know what he's coming at that from either, look, you got to eat. It's not a matter because none of them are on G tubes. They're not getting nutrition otherwise. And people on Alzheimer's notoriously will starve to death. That is one of the unfortunate things happening because they just forget to eat. They don't even think about it. So if, and like I said, but his general demeanor with the patients isn't that of caring. It's just he's kind of being a dick.
I think he wanted the paycheck, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, Francis or whoever, she needs more. Dorothy, what's her name?
No, I think it's Dorothy.
Dorothy.
That rings right. Oh yeah, and he's like, I think I know where he kept it. I'll find more, Dorothy. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Well, it was helping out, apparently.
Yes,
I mean,
they were, we'll get to the why things went crazy, but yeah, but everybody was, getting remarkably better. People who couldn't function on their own. This is the old guy's mom. She wants him to leave the home. He doesn't want to leave the home for reasons.
And it's kind of funny because first she said he didn't want to come and we made him, and now he doesn't want to come home and we're making him. And it's like,
yeah,
right. He wants to stay
here.
here.
She does. She does express he's like a different person now, though.
Yeah,
because he was barely able to speak and not functioning, and now he's just he's running around doing stuff.
I would have thought more like, well, maybe you want him to stay here then if he's improving.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And unless she thinks the improvement might still be effective while he's at home, but if he's getting special treatment here,
right.
Also, I think sometimes with certain conditions, mental conditions or whatever, if you're around other people that support you in a certain way, like other old men kind of deal, you know what I mean? So that maybe they help with the support means as opposed to just sitting at home by yourself. He does have a really old suitcase though, because that's at least from the 60s. Because when I went to basic training, that's the kind of suitcase I had, except mine was for real. It was an old suitcase from 1968.
Wow.
Probably so now tonight.
Yeah, they used to have the old commercial where the gorilla would throw it around.
Yep, the gorilla. Yeah. That was a classic. Now he's running upstairs like he's, like a superhero.
There are a lot of dark places in this sanatorium.
Yeah.
Well, remember, they had to close down so much. It was all these abandoned spaces.
Of course.
Yeah. And he's
scabbering
over the roof.
I'm not coming after you, and then he comes after him.
And then
something
happens.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Huh? What did I see?
No. Go.
No. So here's the part where it just kind of blows my mind, kind of like the first part. It's like you don't see anything. You see why is he invisible? What's going on?
Right.
Because what I thought this was mental projection from
having an
the
out-of-body experience.
I thought he was projecting his will to do this.
That's what I was thinking at first, that they were projecting, but it's actually
because I hadn't seen this
other people who have died in this place.
And Mulder's lucky.
I do appreciate. I have to say, if this were made today, they'd go the extra mile and show that dude's fingers cracking backwards. And I'm glad they didn't go for the slightly twisted body stuff with this. Just it's fine. It's not necessary. We can just hit the magic blood that comes out of his ear when he lands on the other side of his face.
This is totally fine. It gets the point across.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll bounce back.
As a matter of fact, I think later on in the episode, they spent an inordinate amount of money they didn't need to spend. The budget for this thing didn't need to be as high as it went. They could have rode around it and it got the same effect.
It's like, really? One of your guys just died. It's like, you really?
Yeah, I mean, you've had and the assaults allegation You had the old, you had the one patient who died earlier. We don't know what she died from. But you already have it. You do have a death. So you have a death. You have the attack. Then you have another death, and now you have a third death at your installation within 2 days.
Yeah,
Bro.
even in the 90s, this would be no good. Nowadays, with social media, they would have been forced closed down as soon as the nurse posted it on X.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That was the thing about those days. God, I'm sounding so old. And before that is people are like, now that you have the internet and social media, people are like, oh, I can't believe it, it's doom and gloom, and I'm doom scrolling, and every time I see a new story, there's something else happening. That stuff all happened back then. You just didn't get such wide dispersal.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about it because everything wasn't connected. You had to read a local newspaper to get half of the stuff that was going on in a town. But that's also why people could, commit serial murders and move from state to state and get away with it, because the cops weren't even talking to each other.
Yeah.
So Dorothy doesn't want to go in her.
This
Dorothy
is kind of creepy too. It's like
Dorothy. Anyway.
Yeah, Dorothy.
Dorothy. So she doesn't want to go in her room because she's seeing something. So I don't want to go in there. They're in there right now. I don't want to go in there.
And honestly, the actress does a really good job of portraying this right here, because this would not. I'm not saying this is common. When it comes to postal dementia, like I said earlier, it affects everybody differently. Things manifest differently. They react differently. But this would not have been an uncommon reaction, at least in my experience, where one of the residents would just be convinced that people were in the room and they didn't want to go in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens now she's actually seeing something.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying, "Stay away from her. Stay away from her." She's telling Scully to run.
But they actually are there.
Yeah.
Or at least you get to see what she's seeing. So.
And then you see them following Scully.
That's actually a pretty good shot. How they created that.
Yeah, that is really good. Yeah.
Really? That's not the that. My camera's off and covered.
You're off and covered.
We can hear you, Beard.
We are part of Beard's world.
Everything.
Beard's world.
Hello, Mrs. Beard.
Am I hallucinating? Like in this screenshot?
What, you're hallucinating? No. I think what they did here was like overlay. They filmed it once with the old people,
with the same,
and then kind of overlaid it over Scully, so it makes them look like ghost figures.
Now they'd spend $100,000 just to CGI it in.
Yeah,
right. Do it in post.
And is this where did they get the toxicology already?
Yep.
Because they were waiting
this
for
is
the
the scene where it's coming back.
That's when
here.
it's coming here. There it is.
Yeah, this scene right here. Yep.
And she's like, "What the hell? What
That's
is
not
this
supposed
doing?"
to be there.
And I forget what it was, but it was it was a low level of something that should not have been in their blood.
Then the nurse comes in and is like, you guys need to come see this. And somebody's painted all over the wall.
That's pretty cool.
All these ghostly figures. And
that's a pretty cool painting, actually.
Cool, yeah. It is. It's like you got all these ghosts like figures.
And it was the artist. What was his name? I don't remember.
I can't.
I don't either.
Was it like Wendell or something?
There he is.
He's up there painting away.
I wonder if they took it down. That's a pretty sick painting. Not very pretty, not very inspiring, but
it's very elaborate.
Yeah.
Looks like something like from Dante's Inferno or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be unsettling.
And now he's asking that other orderly, Gunn, where is he? Down in the basement somewhere. Okay. That's good. So
Okay,
So
let's go to the
apparently
dark
this
basement.
dude
what
lives
do you
down
do here? Yeah. It's quite an elaborate under
I have
under the
mushrooms.
building network.
That's a pretty big place for like a pretty big basement
Yeah, it's
or
got
Yeah.
a
like
building.
iron bars laying on the ground and stuff. Obviously, this was filmed at like a steel mill factory or something.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And
Oh.
lo and behold, it's locked.
So instead of getting the proper paperwork, Mulder decided to just break the lock,
Break the
rendering
lock
all
off,
evidence
yeah.
found within inadmissible.
exactly. I'm convinced that they used this facility or facilities like it to film SG-1 and make it like the
Yeah.
the base or whatever.
Most likely.
Yeah. But he's got all these
Shrooms.
Oh, there is
mushrooms,
all his mushrooms.
which is
Cool
kind of a
mushrooms.
mold.
So, but Scully was,
Right.
She was
Yep.
onto
She wasn't
something.
far off. And then he
Mulder's
finds
like, what is he finds something? It's like, it's a hand.
Oh,
yeah. So how did this guy get down here?
I never really understood this.
Like, when did he get whacked and thrown in here, and who did it?
and who is
Well, the
this guy,
ghost,
by the
the
way?
ghost did it.
He's one of the orderlies.
the other
He's the
orderly.
second,
Okay, it's the other
second
orderly.
orderly.
Okay, yeah.
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 Okay.
They were like, I'm already short staffed, and Bonehead didn't show up for work today, or whatever. Couple scenes
But he
back.
just got
Okay.
buried in the basement.
He's like, I didn't do it. He's like, it's your place.
And then he goes into the whole, in my country, we do not treat our elderly this way. Our grandparents live with us. This has medicinal purposes.
What a novel idea.
He's like, bro, you can't just do this stuff.
It's like, yeah, but mushrooms, they're good, bro.
I don't know about probable cause on this because there was no immediate danger. Probable cause usually is necessitated by there is a something that is immediately going on. You might be able to get it off on a judge,
Yeah.
maybe,
Mm.
but that's a heavy maybe.
No,
Now,
look,
so you
the
say
lock
they
was
can't-
broke. Okay, I just found it that way.
Now, question. So he so you can't use that evidence, yet he already claims that he has been using them on the patients. Doesn't that already doesn't that bring the force of the law onto you because he already claimed
Not necessarily, because the evidence was found illegally. His
Oh.
testimony afterwards may be inadmissible.
Oh boy,
Maybe
There
again,
definitely
there's a
are,
lot
uh,
of
gray area.
because
there's a lot of gray
it's a show. So
And I was gonna say, it's like, okay, now they used Hollywood magic. Okay, fair enough. So he's like,
But-
yes, no, I
yeah,
used it.
I totally did this stuff.
So we find out the mushrooms. He's like, you can actually see your ancestors and stuff.
He's
So
like,
they,
oh, no, that kind of mushroom, eh?
like, oh, that's
Right. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like champignon or mushroom soup.
Wait,
Got it.
so that's when they talk about, well, for thousands of years, shamans have
Mhm.
used
Yeah,
hallucinogenics to be able to get in touch with the spirit world and all that kind of stuff.
right.
So,
And this is where Scully dismisses it, though. She's like, so the shaman gets drunk and talks to the dead ancestors. You can't, that's basically poppycock. It's made up. It's in their head. They're seeing what they want to see in their hallucinogenic state. So she dismisses it. So she's going back to the more rational world, even though there isn't much of an explanation. Though, hello, Silverlock.
Hey, what's up, Silverlock?
and this is where isn't this where Mulder gets interested now, or was
Yes,
that a
now
little bit different?
he's
So
on
it is-
board, and Scully, it's role
Yeah.
reversal.
Yeah,
yeah, I found that kind of weird.
So did I. It's like, after all you've seen, still
nope.
we're having this conversation.
Like, show us
Oh, poor
your
guy.
show us
Okay.
your stash.
So that's his
He's
place.
like, oh no, they're all
They're
gone.
gone.
Yeah, they took someone took all of the pills.
They must have like some sort of addictive component, because these elderly were like, give me more, and that's kind of like an addiction.
Well, also, I could see it more as they've, got a piece of themselves back and they don't want to lose it again. So I could see that's why they want to continue. They want to take more. They want to keep not lose what they have again. Yeah, it's been a few months, but we did Awakenings, the movie Awakenings, and something similar. They were pretty much vegetative, and they came out of it, and they were, then the drugs stopped working, and they slowly
they built up a resistance to the drugs, and they went back.
Oh,
yeah. So, but that's actually based on a real story.
Yeah.
That looks like It, the hand.
Oh,
like the Addams Family. There it is.
Yeah.
So here's the old
Thing,
dude. He's just
thing.
gobbling down pills like they're freaking Tic Tacs right now. What are you
And the
taking,
nurse like,
Dad? What's in your mouth? And this poor old Mirage, she's like, whoa. No, I was thinking that same thing. The Scully shot, look at that was a great shot. So she can't like, see, but
the old lady sees like all these people, like all these ghosts.
Yeah, it's like, so whatever this drug is, it's opening a gateway for. And I don't really understand this. I don't get the mysticism here, but I mean, the spirits, if they've been here the whole time, I don't know. But somehow this drug, because these people are aware of them, maybe makes them able to interact. I didn't really understand how the pieces fit together exactly.
Now, this really impressed me, like how the whole room can get that full without draining underneath. It was draining underneath, but still it just got so full, like a real tank. I don't know if that was the magic of
I wonder if it was it was a pool or something they made to look like a room.
Don't know. It filled up quick though.
It did fill up quickly.
Yeah, it did.
And so that's the thing. So now my question is, were they real ghosts? Because there was paranormal activity right there, and like people, being pulled, doors being shut.
I think it was
beds being moved. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like all these mushrooms, and what are they doing? It's like, so it was a really confusing.
The concept isn't straightforward, because it's like the people become a conduit so that the spirits can conduct activity.
Okay.
Because as we see in a minute, once it stops,
that's what it seems like.
they're gone.
They're gone.
So
yeah.
it's and that's the best I can offer, is that the people become a conduit that allow the ghost to do ghost stuff,
thingies,
poltergeist activity.
Yeah. Okay.
Physical activity in the real world.
Yeah.
Supposed to just, ooh, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
This guy is obviously being, attacked. He's being, so there are the ghosts that are angry.
Yep.
And that Gong was actually saying, it's like, the ghosts are angry. It's like the spirits here are very angry. So he must have some sort of
keep doing this.
This is what I'm talking about. This whole, like, how much money did it cost them to flood this building out, and do all this? Also, is that room really watertight like that?
That's what I was asking myself.
I mean,
I
it
think it
is
may have been spectral energy holding it in.
right. It could
I
be.
checked Tobin's spirit guide, and it said such a thing can occur.
Okay.
No one got my Tobin spirit guide.
Yeah, I bet it was a
That was
basement
funny.
because look, the hallway is completely tiled up too.
Mhm.
So it might be a basement. That's probably how they got it to hold all that.
Well, I knew it was a ground floor thing, but yeah, man, it might be an abandoned building too, so they just didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then old guy kicks it, and then off the spirits go.
I just don't think it was necessary for the show. They could have done something else and saved a ton of money.
Mm.
And she said, "They're gone. They're gone.
He's like,
They're
"Oh,
gone."
God."
She's so happy.
It actually isn't a
It
neat
is-
looking building.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing. It's an interesting building, and you don't actually get the scope of it until the lights come on, and you see just how big it is. It's not just that; it's the wings that are attached to it.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
right.
just
It's a
the
big
that's just
place.
the entrance to it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, it's
you
what
can,
pretty face on
yeah,
the.
but you can
'Cause
tell by the
Yeah, and
architecture.
Go ahead.
they've
Go ahead.
totally
It was built in like the late 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
early 1900s.
No, and I was just gonna say that when you see only like the in the dark, you think, and then you think of the basement, you're like, that is a very big basement for a building just like that, you know. But when obviously
Yeah,
when you see
yeah.
all the wings, you're going, oh, okay, that's why the basement is so big.
Plus, it's
And the
got
post-
5
Right.
stories if you count the
Yes.
very 1st
Mhm.
one as
Oh,
number
the
one.
little attic-y spot.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
And
good. So, yeah.
the post mortem though is that the government takes over the facility again, and all the experiments stop, but then all the elderlies go back to their their
There you go.
unfortunate
Yeah.
basic states.
And the question becomes: is that because
Yeah.
the doctor's medicine isn't working, or they're not getting the mushroom pills anymore?
I don't think the doc's medicine was doing anything. I
don't
think
think
it
that
was
one.
it was just it was
No.
lucky coincidence that Gunn showed up, and
Mhm.
lucky, I say lucky, and gave
I was actually thinking the medication they were getting and the mushrooms were like working together to cause this
Mhm.
whole thing to happen.
also, if Gunn was giving them the amount, if they were getting the amount that Gunn was supposed to give them versus the exaggerated amounts that they were taking, would the effect have been the same, or would it have been more the way it should have been, more of a healing aspect without the angry poltergeist entities working their way into the world?
Hmm.
Questions. See,
And
poor
now
old guy.
this daughter
Nothing.
leaves him there now.
Cool. Phil.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be back next week, Dad. I don't know. Nobody knows. But it's an interesting episode. Again, not a favorite, but discussing it, we find a lot of good points to talk about. It's just, as far as the episode goes, it was definitely mid, not connected to anything. We seem to be in kind of a lot of Monster of the Week type episodes, because our next episode is not dissimilar in that respect. Oh my God, are we gone? Am I having a stroke?
No, we were
No,
gone.
I'm here.
It was,
I don't know what's going on.
somebody took a mushroom.
I thought it was happening. I thought it was finally happening.
Yeah.
We've all talked about this moment, guys. This next episode
what
I
happened.
liked a lot better. And
Oh, yeah.
we get a couple of interesting guest appearances in this one, which I thought were pretty cool.
Yeah, we do. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. StreamYards is doing some funky things this evening.
Oh my. Shocking, I say.
Yeah, I had some kind of weird connection issue there in the middle of that last episode we were covering for a few minutes.
By
Did
the way,
Beard fall
Beard,
in the pool? Do we need to check on him?
no, he's enjoying his cigar.
I saw on the X. On the X. I'm old.
Okay, I
So
know
here
this police guy.
Terry O'Quinn. Now you've seen
Yeah,
Terry
yeah,
O'Quinn in
he's
a
been
lot
in
of
Where
things. He was
is
on
he?
Lost, and then that's his blurry picture with his wife. There he is.
Oh yeah, Lost.
So
what's his name
he's from
on
Lost,
Lost?
and he was also in Millennium with Lance Hendrickson, which was
Okay.
a really cool
Right.
same universe as X-Files show about the end of the world. Didn't have a lot of seasons, but it was a really fun show. But yeah, he's one of those actors. You've seen him in a million different things, but those are probably
Yes.
the two you know him from the most. They've got a murder. This is his broad on the side. They want to have a conversation. Cutting a
Yeah.
cut up. They're all police.
Yeah.
You see the wedding band right there.
And did she already slip him the paper? Yes. It
Yes.
said, "I'm pregnant." And look of panic. Look of what are we going to do? And he gives her an address. They're going to go meet later at a motel. It's somewhere we can talk. The Motel Black.
Hmm. So she arrives, and then all of a sudden, I don't understand this, but she just gets a premonition.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
we'll get to more explanation on this later, at least somewhat of an explanation. But that is very much what it appears to be at this juncture. You see the car, and then she gets kind of some flash stuff, and then suddenly she's in a field digging.
Yes.
Yeah, you get the guy dumping the body. And you're not quite sure how any of this is tied together at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see her
You see him
digging,
drop the
and-
body.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there you can see
This is
there's
a
a
very
badge
deep hole.
on the body.
He did not need a shovel to dig this hole. Unless there was perhaps erosion.
No.
Now
It was a pre-dug hole, probably.
probably.
Hmm.
So she finds the FBI, right? The
Yeah,
FBI
she pulls up the badge. Yep.
Yeah, I could tell by looking at it that it was an older badge, like an older style badge. At first, I thought it was like an old timey sheriff badge or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this episode better. I thought it had some interesting aspects to it. I'll wait on my comments about the two episodes overall.
Okay.
But it was better. It was better for me than episode 11. That and the cameos in it were very good.
I got a question. In the intro, it's got those two weird eggs that got goo coming out of them or whatever. Is that ever in one of the episodes, or is that just part of the intro?
I think so. I can't remember what episode though.
No, I don't think it's
Yeah,
Those
ever
ones?
there.
It's
Right
never
there?
in an
Yeah,
episode?
yeah.
Are
They
you
look
sure?
like turtle eggs or something because they're not very, you know what I mean? They're like
Mhm.
soft skinned, so they're like reptile.
I always
eggs.
thought it was a plant.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought it was like a seed, sprouting roots.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is largely influenced by alcohol, so it's probably not right.
Okay, now he's so invested in this. It's like, look at this. So
Oh, the
income
dental,
Like
yes.
scholar-
dental records.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I think the clue that led him to the dental records was the badge. Right?
Yeah.
'Cause They were
Yeah.
able to look
Yeah,
at the
those were his
badge,
original dental records
get the
based on the
badge
dude
number
and
off
then
of
the
it.
skull.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they did the X-ray of the skull, and then they looked at his like old 1940s dental records
Badge number.
and
Yeah.
matched them up. Yeah.
50 years later.
Yep.
Or 53, sorry. Because this
And
is a
so in
1993
the-
one.
Right.
Yes.
There he is.
And the information you get here is really kind of cool, though.
Now, this guy.
this guy.
That-
Go ahead.
This guy's been in a lot. The actor that plays the old FBI guy. He's been in Stargate, I think, but he's been in stuff too.
I wasn't familiar with the actor.
Go ahead.
I thought the backstory was fun, though. He and
Unless
his
it's
partner
somebody who
were looking
I'm
at
not
serial killers
thinking of.
from more of a modern perspective
Mhm.
back in the 1940s, and it freaked everybody out. They're like, "That's not the way you investigate these crimes." Looking at what do they call it? The behavior science unit, essentially. That didn't, these things didn't exist, but that's the approach that they were looking at, tracking a certain serial killer. 6.5. Really? Out of 5? It was a 1 to 5 scale on this. That would be a 5, though. That is a 5 on the ugly scale of 1 to 5. That is a horrendous
Yes.
tie.
Yes.
And he disappeared
We're gonna
on
have
a
to have an
case.
episode
What
just
state is this
on
that they go
Mulder's
to?
ties.
I don't remember.
Missouri,
Oh yeah.
They're in Missouri. Thank you.
but
It's
I don't think
with
there's a town called Aubrey, Missouri.
Okay. But that's where
I looked it up.
he was doing.
I didn't
investigation.
find
Okay.
a town.
And they were tracking. I think was there 3 victims currently, with
Yes,
the sister
with the
carved
sister.
into them.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, but they don't know that
agent
yet.
was tracking.
But here's the thing. So the murder that was
Yeah,
that
right.
that they were investigating, the first murder, it already had sister on it.
The one that they were
Right, you
investigating.
could hear their conversation.
Okay. No,
yes.
this is for to connect the dots for later in the episode, and you're like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, you
So
can
I
hear
thought- I
the
thought
2
all of this was
detectives
good.
talking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Roman.
No, and did Mulder have the conversation about how the lady detective found the bones yet?
No.
Or is that after they talked to her? Because I don't remember
actually
exactly.
her first report was like weird that
The
she
dog.
just
Yeah,
found
the dog.
just
Well, neither report
found
works
these
out.
bodies.
Mhm.
Neither one
No,
is plausible.
No.
They're both unlikely at best.
Hmm.
Nice job at the crime scene. This looks good.
Okay. He's in the middle of nowhere. It's like, how did you get into the middle of nowhere?
I was having car trouble.
Wasn't there a dog
I saw a
involved in all of
dog.
this?
Oh,
So she said she
Yeah,
said
there
she
was a
saw a
dog
dog digging at the site,
Right,
and then
okay.
she walked over to investigate what it was.
And he just dug up a body. Okay, got it.
Well, and her car is parked like 500 meters away, though. So Mulder's like, you could see a dog digging from that far away. And then her boss comes in, and the lieutenant comes in, and he's like, oh, she was just walking through a shortcut to get to the nearest payphone. Well, she called from the Black Hotel or the Black Motel over there, that's a pretty long shortcut. What can I help you with, Mr. Mulder? You know, he's being very defensive. That's the defensive look. That's the look of a defensive man.
Well, he's got a little secret there, so.
He does. And so he's like, come on,
Yeah, he
BJ,
does.
because her name is BJ. And which is kind of odd, but whatever. And they walk off. And Mulder is very suspicious here for obvious reasons. The most of which he's like, so she's digging in the middle of this field the size of Rhode Island, and she just comes across a body. That's just absurd.
yeah, and like everybody sees a dog out digging. Let's go see what they're digging up.
No one does that. No one wants to do that. Where's the dog? What happened to the dog? That's what I wanted. I can hear my dog right now. He's being an ass. So she's noting that there are cuts on the ribs. She thinks, maybe the field had been tilled or something of that nature.
Oh, look at that tie.
That's ugly. That's an ugly tie.
It's a beard.
Yeah, that's a classic Mulder one.
That's a classic. Yes, that is.
Yep.
From the Mulder line at Nordstrom.
Yes.
It doesn't match his shirt or his pants. It's just,
It's just there.
It's just there.
So, and then, Mulder's finding the word sister's been carved on the wall. They were all killed by blunt force trauma, and they all had the sister carved into their chest. And that Scully's like, this could be a carving. It may not, it may not be what I initially thought. Those teeth are in remarkably good shape. So
Yeah.
we move on kind of from that
Good
point,
soil.
which is interesting.
if they were 1940s ties, they would be wider and shorter. But I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just imagine a Mulder tie from 1940s.
Except it comes to the middle of his chest.
More real
the,
estate,
the 1940s ties were way cooler because
I was gonna say
little pork pie hat
Yeah,
on.
they were. They were.
Oh, John Lennon glasses. I didn't know she had John Lennon glasses.
Oh yeah, this is where the shows
There it
dip
is.
into like crazy AI computer technology that we don't even have yet
Yeah, right.
right now.
If I can do a scan of these bones and send them back to the bureau, maybe we can get a match on, what the word actually says. That's a great idea, Scully. You are some future thinking stuff.
And they're eating KFC while they're doing it.
Is that what they're eating? I couldn't figure
That's
out
what
what it
they're
was. I
eating,
was like,
but
oh, really?
I don't think did they start calling it KFC already back then?
Probably Kentucky. Probably Kentucky Fried, like that.
Still Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Which is what I still call it. But now
I like
chicken.
Popeyes more.
He puts an
so do I. We
addictive
just got a
chemical in his
Popeyes out
chicken.
here. I love it.
Yeah, those.
Sorry,
aren't too
Jacob.
bad.
What did you say?
We're talking about chicken.
He said, he puts in a. I don't know if you've seen the. So I married an axe murderer. Yeah. Who's in that?
It's KFC already. They did it.
Oh,
in
really?
91.
Yeah.
91
Okay.
Those bastards.
Oh, okay.
This was some hinky stuff.
Zoom in.
here.
Enhance.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, R2.
Oh, it's R2.
No R2. No R2.
R2. And ZBR.
Why?
Hey, ZBR. What's up?
So an
Yeah,
attempt
it's like
match.
zoom in. Enhance. Zoom in.
Okay, there
enhance.
you go.
So
There's a-
yeah, they're over. I don't. They're overlaying what the word was carved on the chest, and then managing to
Right.
base whatever the marks are carved into the bones that would have formed such letters.
Mhm.
Okay, that
Right.
is
But could
a
it?
wild stretch.
Can a carving like that? Like it has to be a really, really deep carving just to get it to the bones.
Right. Exactly.
They made
Yeah.
a lot of leaps here.
I'm willing
A
to make
lot of
a
leaps.
concession for the plot. I mean, it could have
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
Now the computer figuring it out like that? No.
Okay.
No, not
Not
1993.
Not 93. Yeah. They what they
Not in
should have done is
2023, maybe.
when they should have took it to some kind of expert guy
Mhm.
like in a lab coat, and of course it would have taken him 6 months to figure it out, but still.
Mhm.
Oh, so she had her flashback there.
Yes.
When she
Yeah.
touched the razor.
And that's when also Scully already told Mulder, like, no, they're having an affair. It's like they have their dirty thing.
Oh yes,
And
She
it's
yes.
figured it out.
And he's
'cause,
like, nah, you
Yeah.
can't possibly.
and she's like, oh
like,
yeah, women know.
No, so it's like women
I
know.
can
It's like
smell it on her.
Women know.
you notice the glances, how
Oh,
the other
crazy.
guy was like super defensive.
Right,
It's
right.
like
Yeah.
you notice him, and she's like, "You're pregnant, are you?" He's like, "Oh,
What is it
does
showing?
show?" She's like, "No, not yet." And she's like so
No,
chill.
not yet.
So, wow.
But then she starts talking about, they warned me about getting sick, but not about the nightmares. She's like, and Scully's like, what nightmares?
What nightmares?
I see myself as a man in the mirror who's just murdered someone in the next room. Normal stuff. Normal, pregnancy dreams. Yeah. Come here.
And she's smarter than the computer. Oh, this says brother. Oh.
This is exactly.
And this is the moment, at least a little bit for me, where we're going up the ramp to jump the shark, where she does the brother thing.
Right.
It got a little
There
odd
it is,
for
there
me.
it is.
Yep, brother.
Match.
Magic computer.
Magic.
Same carving
kind of
style, which is
magic.
convenient.
He's like, what's going on here? And he sees the file and he's like,
Yeah.
this
yes.
was
And this was
under
yeah.
wraps. You couldn't touch this stuff. Well, yeah, that's from 1945, and he's like, looks at it and it's like, oh,
Huh.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
no good.
I found out. I like when those pictures have been in color today in '93. You know,
Yeah.
I get
I
what
don't know, because I don't know about about resolution.
Good.
They may have been able to do more high resolution pics in black and white
right,
than in
right.
color. That and I'm just trying to make it work, man. I think all those bones
Yeah, I don't
belong to
know.
Irene. Oh, rip Irene.
Oh, we have a new murder.
Right.
Oh
at
yes,
some kind of abandoned pool, which are never creepy.
never,
Oh,
not at
absolutely,
all.
no, absolutely not. Is this
Yeah,
and these are just like
she's like, it's
random
her.
people, right?
Right. Yeah, they're just random victims for the
Right.
most part. Because I don't think he does anything else to him besides kill him and carve that into
I
their
think that
chest.
was one of Pippin's ancestors
Talk
in the video.
amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
All right. Like, right? Like he doesn't do anything else to him. He just kills him.
Well, no, the we haven't gotten to the victim that survived. We haven't had that discussion yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, never mind.
Mhm.
He does do other stuff to him
Yes.
because what happened.
So,
all right. My
she's
bad.
talking. She's talking about motherly instincts. They're kicking in, faster than she thought. Do we?
Why did
meet
she
her?
kind of remind
mother?
me of the mother from Home Alone?
Oh yes.
I don't know.
Maybe it's her
I can
jacket.
I
because
can
think
see her.
the
No,
mother
no, it's
wore
her.
that jacket.
No, also
Yeah.
the hair.
Yeah, the hair. Yeah.
The hair. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah.
Now that was an X-File.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at her hair though. Yeah. Interface.
I don't.
Yeah, no face pictures.
I don't remember the conversation that's going on here, though.
I don't remember either.
I remember she was talking about motherly instincts, and her kind of her own mother. But I don't know if I don't know if there's a whole lot more to it than that.
Is that when she says that her father was a cop?
Oh, her
and all
father. Yeah. No,
I
good.
know.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, so all
her-
she wanted to be was a good cop like her dad.
like her dad. Yes.
Yeah.
But he had gotten killed on the job.
Yeah. So that's they're discussing, She just looks disturbed, poor woman. Like she has
She
like
does. She looks very
Yeah.
burdened.
haunted.
Yeah. She has like so much burden on her, so
Well, and she's carrying a baby. She's having an affair with her boss, who's married. There's kind of a lot going on there.
Okay, so now she's
She starts going
investigating.
through 1940s mugshots.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, and her boss comes in. He's, oh, you're working kind of
That's
late.
right.
Aren't those from the 1940s?
Oh, that's right, Beard. He was in the. What was it? It was. He was in charge of an experiment on Star Trek. He was in charge of an experiment that made a ship be able to go through objects or something.
He was he on the was it the Pegasus?
Oh, okay.
Wasn't it the one that Riker
I think
was
so.
on where they were trying to
It was Riker's old ship.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to make a cloaking device.
Okay.
Like which is against, and they were doing it secretly because it was against a treaty with the Romulans they had signed. They weren't ever supposed to try to work on that kind of technology. And
Right.
it messed up and it phased the ship into a solid rock and killed half the crew.
Wow.
And people were mutinying, and Riker stood with the captain, and then he figured out that was the wrong thing to do. So in the episode that they talk about it, he actually goes the other way and realizes he did the wrong thing the
Yeah.
first time around.
Mm-hmm. So here they're discussing actually what's going to happen to the poor baby. So they had an agreement, and she's like, "Nope,
Yeah, she was gonna terminate that
Mhm.
pregnancy, and she's like, nah, I'm gonna keep it. And then he's like,
It's
Well,
not
I'm
just your
screwed.
decision; it's our decision.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
obviously he hasn't been around for 2025.
no,
No, not yet.
no." So this is where she finds him. There he is.
Yes.
He looks like Elvis.
Now they never explain like what this rash he's got is.
Yeah, he's got a
How
skin
does he
condition.
have it for
It's true.
his entire life, and never gets fixed?
Well, also, so we make a jump here, and I guess she must have had the name associated with the file, because immediately we jump to Mulder and Scully going, okay, this is the guy who she says it is. She didn't take a picture of it. There wasn't a computer, this wasn't on the computer where you could just move the file over to,
Mhm.
hey, this is the guy, and send. It
Right.
didn't. That tech wasn't there at that point.
Well,
They
she
got a hard file like this.
recognizes him from her visions
Mhm.
That's the dream
as
guy.
the
yeah.
guy in the mirror.
But
Right.
also, they could have taken a photocopy and enhanced it, huh? That was technology back then.
Yeah.
Yep, true.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they had like proto Photoshop by that point.
And
this is the
I
lady
thought
who
this was-
survived.
Yeah, that's the lady.
They're driving a
So,
minivan.
Yeah,
Are
and
they?
that's the thing about this show is that
I think it's a
it happened
minivan.
in the 40s, but yet the people are still alive. You can go talk to them.
It's a pleaser.
So he assaulted her and then carved the name in her, but she was able to get away.
Escaped. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's important, kids.
Did she say? Did she say how? Did she say how she escaped?
I don't know if that ever comes into play.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't remember
Okay.
that
It doesn't say how. It just says that she escaped.
that she did. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. It's Hollywood.
So and now remember, this is 40
Right.
years ago. So the guy is now 77, if I'm not mistaken. And this is like a house of horrors they're driving up to already.
Yes.
It's got that look to it. Normally that would be a lovely porch and then a great balcony above
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It just
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to be cleaned up.
That's
Needs to be
like
cleaned
Yeah, in
up.
another
painted.
era.
nowadays there'd
Yeah.
probably be like all kinds of like Walmarts around it, and it'd be $1 million house.
Yes.
Those
And it's in the middle of
wraparound
nowhere.
porches are great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the wraparound porches.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, throw a coat of paint on it, touch up some of the wood.
Get rid of the bodies. No.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Now, as
Make
soon
sure
as
there's
I
no
saw this
skeletons
guy,
in the
I'm
closet.
like, oh, it's that guy. It's that guy. And
What
that
guy?
guy.
Oh man,
Has a name.
that's so scary.
So this
that's a
actor's
creepy
name is Morgan
shot right
Morgan
there.
Woodward.
Morning
And
Wood.
you've
okay.
seen the first time I saw Morgan Woodward was on Star Trek, the original series, as Captain Tracy. He is the one who went to the planet of basically it's where the Chinese won the war and the Americans basically became like savages in their world. E plumistum, we the people. And that's Jim Kirk makes the big jump to that's like he's reading the Constitution. But that's what Captain Tracy, crazy. And he was also a doctor in one of it was the Green Orion slave girl. They were all in a mental institution, and he was the doctor in charge of it. But things go awry, and everything's just kind of wackadoo in there. But that's the two things that I knew from were old school Star Trek. But he's been in a lot of stuff. Battle Beyond the Stars, Cool Hand Luke. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I'm not aware of. With PJ Souls, who you will remember from Rock and Roll High School, and
he
then Star
played
Trek.
a good creepy guy here.
Oh man.
He did. Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, Days of Our Lives, T.J.
Look at
Hooker,
that.
The
Look at
Fall
that.
Guy. He has quite the resume.
Oh, he was in the Fall Guy.
He was like in everything.
It's like a classic.
And
Pedro
it's funny
Pascal.
because he looks like he's only
better.
like 5 foot. Did he
Look
make
at
a shrub?
that.
But I do
Look at
love
inside. Look
the
at that, like,
lighting.
look.
The lighting here. The
Wait,
just made everything creepy.
Just look at how he looks at Scully. Oh,
Yeah.
dang! I would not watch this at night.
and they're asking him, where were you? And he's like, look, I can't even get to the bathroom very well.
That's the
As
thing.
he's smoking with his oxygen.
It's like he's in the middle of nowhere. He can barely walk, and he lives alone.
Maria?
Like, yeah. I can hear you.
What?
Maria, come to
Yeah,
the light.
I can
Come
hear
to the light. We
Maria.
can't hear you.
You're the one who can't hear me. You
Yeah,
are the
we
one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you?
Yeah, we
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
We've lost your audio.
Did your
No,
earbud
we
go
can
out?
hear.
Wait, is anybody else there?
Yeah, we can hear Roman.
Everyone.
Is it just me?
Yes.
Mother! Damn it!
Yep.
It's happening
Nope,
again.
sing it.
I'll be back.
That was fun.
Okay, that was fantastic. Okay.
So Roman
Well.
will be back.
Yes.
He almost said a bad one.
He almost did. Oh man, that guy's creepy again. So that's the
Yeah,
thing.
so this guy's like, I wouldn't. I was here the whole time. And then he calls Scully sister. It's like really creeped Scully out. Oh my goodness.
He calls her little sister.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be creepy at all.
No.
I wonder why also. I don't know if it says in any part of the episode why he calls like them little sister or
They
brother.
never say.
They never say, right?
No, they never say. Like why he's
No.
like he
Just
is.
a normal psychopath. Got it.
Right. But it's made abundantly clear there's no way this guy could have been doing any of this stuff.
No. So they all leave.
Zombie box reviews. This is your future.
This is your future.
That's messed up.
And so here's another creepy thing, right? So she starts getting this nightmare, which later on we find out that maybe it was or maybe it wasn't.
Right.
Oh, look at that car.
Then we get the old timey car again.
Right. It's a
Oh,
it's so cool.
1940s pickup
That's
truck,
so classic.
which later you see junked and parked outside his house.
Yeah. It's so classy. And then she sees all that blood.
Well, she wakes up and she's like, "What's this wet stuff all over me?" And then she's like, "It's blood." And then her chest is carved open. Now, do you think you could carve that in your own chest? Maybe. I think if
Maybe.
you-
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can.
can do it.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You can definitely do it.
and then they're pouring red Kool-Aid down the sink.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Is Roman back?
Welcome back. No, he's not. Now he is. Welcome
What's
back,
going on
Roman.
here? Something's wrong with this.
Now
video.
we-
It was just like, I was like, that's odd. Why is
I
she
needed
not?
to catch up. Yeah.
And then I actually had to swap out headphones. I don't know. It's fine.
Oh, did your batteries die in your earbuds?
No, they're actually they're charged. They're 100%, and it just like was just gone. I'm having a stroke.
What's
That's
going
what's
on?
happening.
This is so fun.
Is
Am I
I don't know.
projecting? It's like
No, I
it's
can't-
like that previous
I
episode.
can't get Roman to show up on screen.
Is there a cat?
What?
walking
Can y'all
across
see
the
Roman?
keyboard?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Yeah, he's at the bottom. There.
Help me!
No, I
Wait,
can't see him
where-
on the screen, but I can see him on the bottom of the tab there. Hold on, let me look at
Yeah.
the stream.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, okay, the stream was just blank for a second, like a black screen.
It's still blank for me.
No,
we're professionals, folks. We do this all the time.
But there's no slides up now.
yeah.
No, there's.
Yeah, I pulled that down because
Okay.
I still can't see Roman.
There
on
we
the,
go.
I
Now
can see
he's
Roman.
full. Yeah, now he's full screen on the stream, the actual YouTube side.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
I thought a
Oh,
cat or a raccoon was walking across the keyboard.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
I
find
don't know
out-
what's going
okay,
on
so
on my,
she's-
on my end. Hang on. On my end, I can't see Roman or the slides.
Really, we're
gonna-
fine on YouTube, but that doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go out and come back in. I'll be right
All right.
back.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We are having a raccoon technical difficulties spot, folks. So you'll have to bear with us for a moment. So in the episode now, she's woken up. She thought there was a car or something, and she's all covered with blood. Did she already show the carving?
Yeah. She did.
Okay, so she's got that stuff in her chest too, and she thinks she saw I don't remember what the character's name is.
Yeah. The guy.
What was the character's name? Actually, I usually have this. I'm better at this. I'm smarter than this. X-Files season 2 EP12. Because he's listed as both young and old for the.
Right.
Oh,
Now it's
for
back.
God's
That worked.
sake. Okay. Oh, you're okay. We're back. All right.
It's Coakley.
Coakley.
Coakley,
Yes.
yeah.
Coakley.
Yes,
yeah.
young Coakley and old
Coakley.
Coakley.
There you go.
Yes.
Played by Morgan Wood.
Just can't imagine doing that to yourself or anyone.
Yeah, but she's only kind of home right now.
Poor woman. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now you would imagine that you would wake up with pain, like with the pain of the first carving.
Yes.
Not
yeah.
after.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're
No.
really whacked out of your mind, maybe not. Like a split personality thing or something.
And she's
Which is
had
kinda
another
what we're
vision
dealing
about
with
where a
here.
body is been placed.
Mm-hmm.
So she's digging away in a basement here.
Now, which house is this? Is this?
Oh yeah, whose house is this?
I think this is
somebody
just
else's
random house.
This
Oh,
woman
some random
she
house.
busted in the door and
Okay.
came
yeah.
down here and started digging, and she called the police.
Well, she is the police.
No, true. She is the
Yeah.
police.
Well, no, she didn't call the woman of the house who owns the house did.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of funny that you call the police and like the one who busted into your house is the police actually. And so now we find out that she actually did carve herself. So I thought it was a hallucination at first that she did like the sister thing.
Right.
And then,
Me too. Right.
and then it's like, oh my gosh, no, it was real. So like she actually got carved sister.
Mm-hmm. And Mulder reaches down into under the floorboards and
Yeah. And he's
And-
like,
some
oh,
bones
let me
down.
just contaminate this crime scene.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. And he finds like bones and stuff.
Yeah.
and it turns out it was the partner
Mm-hmm.
of the other FBI agent.
So now she has to live with a carved sister on her chest.
Ooh.
And what is that?
And she's developed
She's-
those strange
Yeah. She's getting the rash
markings
that,
the guy
Coakley
has.
Right.
Yes, the unfortunate skin condition.
Right.
She didn't have that. She was like had very beautiful skin before that.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
then and no one seems to be putting any of that together though. They
Yeah.
think it may have been in the attack, is what I surmised. Was that they were just making that
Yeah,
oh, this happened
that's
in
what
the
they
attack,
think.
somehow you got injured.
Ooh.
Now they drag this old dude in for an interview.
And doesn't it look like maybe his face gets worse too as time goes on?
That's
Or
what I
might be
thought
just
too. I was like,
lighting.
it looks
It
it
seems
may be
like-
light because you're seeing more of him.
I think it's because of the light more than anything else. But oof, he looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
Kudos to the makeup again.
Yeah, I mean, imagine having
Yeah,
that skin
definitely.
condition since like the 40s. Terrible.
Exactly. They didn't have an ointment. That tie isn't bad. That tie is not
I mean,
bad. That is a
Back to
very
back.
decent tie.
That's a
Yep.
good looking tie.
Yeah,
I would wear
fine.
that tie. I mean, come on. You can obviously see this guy's not
He's not
capable of.
capable. Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah.
not traveling on his own.
Both of them do. Is Zombie Box says she needs to see a dermatologist ASAP. I would say like both of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, and a
I couldn't
doctor would be able to
exactly
determine whether
figure
that
out
was
the.
done in.
And isn't Scully supposed to be a doctor? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But they do like a DNA test, and
mhm.
it comes back the guy, but the guy's not
Yeah,
capable
well,
of doing what's been going on.
Yeah, the DNA is I mean it is right. So he's like, well, it's got to be him, and then it's like, well, how could it be him? And then they go visit. I think it's time we go visit the
survivor.
lady who was attacked, whose name is escaping me.
Oh, it's a Blazer. It's a little Chevy Blazer. I thought it was a van.
So this is where it
Yes.
kind of gets into the whole genetic memory kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this
fact
is the
that
lady who got attacked. She never
Here's
got
the
the
other-
surgery to. Yeah, go.
Now, here's the other thing. She's like, the attack happened right on that landing. I was like, she stayed in the house after that.
She still
Like,
lives there.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be in the
I think
same house
again,
after that.
I think most people would have been like, I'm out of here, sell the place and bounce after something like that happened.
Yeah.
And he said, I was thinking how the moonlight was, reflecting off the razor, and he said, someone's got to pay, little sister, and it won't be me.
Like pay
All
what?
right.
That's my
What is the pay?
question.
I don't know. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, they never really get into that, what it meant.
Oh, look at that. That's gorgeous.
Oh,
And
the
the-
picture. The picture was important. Yeah,
the
go ahead.
1938 or 39 World's
Mhm.
Fair had something to do
Mhm.
with what she was seeing because she drew it.
Right.
And Mulder, because apparently he had access to her medical records from the 1940s, he's like, well, after the attack,
Yeah.
you went back into the hospital 9 months
How
later.
did he find that?
Nah, they didn't have HIPAA in the 40s.
Really? How did he find that? How
It's
did he
Hollywood,
find
baby.
her records back from the 40s? I mean, this was
I
before
don't
they
know the
started
answer to that.
I have
putting
no
stuff
idea.
on computer, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
long,
I think this
long,
even
long
This
before.
episode. Yeah.
I mean, the military didn't start doing that until 2007. Just to give you a
Right.
date where that started occurring.
Wow. Okay, so she admits that she had a baby.
And she was, it was conceived in evil, blibbity blah blah.
Mhm.
I could never.
Yeah.
Right.
She put it up for adoption, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she this is
Yeah.
funny where she keeps the name of the adoption agency on a scrap of paper hidden behind a frame for these many years. It's a little weird. I get that.
I still can't believe that she stayed in the house after what happened.
No,
She's
no,
like,
just-
right over there
just
on that
the- yeah.
landing. Yeah.
There's
There are a lot of
Okay.
things you
pumpkin
just have to
seeds.
go along with.
Didn't
here.
she say her husband convinced her to keep the kid?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wanted to terminate the pregnancy, and
Yeah.
the husband said the child is innocent. It's like it's not its fault. So she
Right.
kept it, but she sent, and apparently
is
she didn't
true.
have any more children.
Right.
Right.
But
Well, I
she
could
did keep
see-
the scar. I don't. It's supposed to be getting some kind of plastic surgery, but that's fine. Now, I don't think they've.
Yeah, this is
So they're
this is
talking
where
about
Mulder
genetics.
goes into the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's where Mulder's like, if it was
that is.
the son, the
DNA
DNA
maybe.
would be similar.
Mhm.
So, and I don't
it's-
know if they've. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's something about skipping a generation also.
Right.
That
Right. So
it's
she
like-
had
go ahead.
she had the son,
Uh-huh.
but then the son wasn't the one that's all whacked out.
Mhm.
It's whoever's the son's offspring is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now here's a fun fact. There is a guy who has done studies, I think in the University of Berkeley, I'm not really sure, about psychopaths. And apparently, like, he's found out like that there is some sort of genetic predisposition to become a psychopath on how the development of your brain plus the circumstances around it. It's a really interesting talk.
Right. I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, they were talking about in like prehistoric times, if you had a small community,
Mhm.
that it might be genetically beneficial to have one or two psychopaths in the group, because they would be willing to go do other things to like defend the in group, right?
Mhm.
In that context. But once you put them in like a normal society, that's not a good thing.
No.
But if you're in a primitive society where it's all, kill or be killed, to
Mhm.
have one or two people that don't have any compulsions about doing that is
Mhm.
it actually makes you survive better as a whole. Which is why they're trying to figure out why would there be psychopathy that keeps getting passed on, and that might be why. Is it actually you survive better if one or two people in your group of like 100 are complete psychopaths?
So here's the thing. What he says, his name is James Fallon, now that I remember, because I'm like, oh my gosh, Jimmy Fallon. He's like, no, James Fallon, Dr. James Fallon. You can find him, easy enough. So here's the thing. It's like the psychopath, it's not that they don't know that it's wrong. It's like they know what they're doing is wrong, but there's no emotion attached to it.
Right.
Hence, they don't feel the regret that
Right.
a normal person would be in doing these things. So, of course, that has repercussions. Like, okay, well, how much of accountability is there when all these things, like all these horrible things, happen? So,
Right.
But it does come to now. I'm not sure why Mulder said like it skips a generation. But-
I think because
Yeah.
there are a lot of genetic conditions that will skip generations.
Well, yeah, like
Because
twins.
it's in
Yeah.
it's in the DNA, and sometimes it'll take and sometimes it won't.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
I think this is where they just got the name of the baby or the
Mhm.
family that the baby was adopted to, and it's the last name of
BJ.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. They're not killers.
No, we function
does it-
very well in regular society.
now that I'm thinking it, doesn't Mulder make this really like weird statement in the beginning of the show about I always like female cops that are named BJ or something like that?
He did,
Like
and
in
it
the
was
very
just hanging there, and it was just hanging there like Mulder.
I was like, Mulder, what, bro? No.
Dude,
Yeah. It was in the very beginning, like when they're going
it
to
was.
figure out what's happening. And then look at this lady. What is
Oh.
she in her 70s cleaning the oven?
This poor lady
Yeah.
again. It's like,
Yeah.
She can't catch a break.
She doesn't want to catch a break. It's what she does.
Right.
Oh my
It's like,
gosh,
ooh.
this is like
I know all the water would have
I
drained out of
remember as
that.
a kid.
Oh.
It
one
would have. It
time-
would just poured all over the floor.
I remember one time as a kid, I accidentally grabbed like the top corner of the iron, with the palm of my hand.
That was on?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, it didn't.
ah,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was on,
I've had
yeah.
a few iron burns in my time
That
trying
hurt.
to iron my uniform
Yeah, we all.
when I
have.
was a little hungover before we had to go to formation.
No.
There's a whole science to it, depending on what you're ironing, and you got to spritz it, and if
Yeah.
you don't want to burn it, you
Uh,
know, and yeah. And if it's got polyester in it, it'll melt
And
the.
did you
Oh,
crease
yeah,
those
it'll-
You got to be
pants?
very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it to the dry cleaner.
Why? And then the drill sergeant's like, "Why is there a crease in your side of your pants?"
Well, usually they'd yell at you if you didn't have a crease in your pants.
It was just where the
Oh.
crease was,
I just
Yeah,
guess
it's like where it was.
the
Yeah.
crease. Yeah.
or the dreaded double crease.
Yes.
That was just
Yeah.
go buy a new pair of
This
pants.
lady
at that point.
thinks
But-
fast.
But I didn't know that when I joined the military, you needed to learn how to sew and iron and do all this other stuff. So yeah.
What did she throw on her?
Oh,
Look at a
she had
cleaner.
ammonia, I think. Like, yeah,
That
Ammonia,
stuff
yeah,
burns
ammonia.
your
yeah,
eyes.
that's ammonia.
That stuff. If it's pneumonia, I don't know how she could possibly
Wait,
see
is she
anything.
got the? Wait, she's gonna mix ammonia and the other stuff. She's gonna make chlorine gas out of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's making
You can't
cyanide
do-
gas.
That was another thing that I learned very quickly when I went to basic training. Is some people used ammonia and I think it's like pine sol or something. If you mix those two together, it'll make chlorine gas. And they were cleaning the showers, and the
Oh.
showers
Yeah.
there were really big. It was like 60 people worth of showers in this big open space, and they were cleaning the room, and they went in there, and you could literally see it coming off the floor like fumes.
Get out, everybody!
Yeah,
Get
they were,
out!
exactly. They were like, "Get out of there."
Get out.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I can't remember what it is. Ammonia and something else will make chlorine gas.
So I
So
wa-
given this woman's skin condition, that must have burned a lot. Look
I
at
had
old
one-
Brian.
This
I
old
once
lady
had
packs
a,
some heat.
well, you got to arm yourself if you're living alone. That old
Oh,
lady,
yeah.
after a trauma like that, not surprised. But here's the thing: I once had an
No.
issue with my eyes with
38.
ammonia, because it does. It is used as a cleaner for clothes, and I had an eye
Mm,
condition for about a week. I could not open my eyes. Like the doctor said, okay, you can't do your laundry right now. I'm like, okay, and forget that stuff.
It's bleach. That's what you mix it with, ammonia and bleach.
Bleach and ammonia. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you create
Oh.
chlorine
Yeah.
gas.
So you were saying just being near your clothes was causing it?
Yeah, because I
Wow.
was
Wow.
but I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine with me.
Nuts.
It's strong stuff. I was working in a residence, and I was in the laundry area, and they used that substance for cleaning clothes. So I guess like the smell, I was not accustomed to it. The smell, it got into my eyes. Is like, forget it. They got me out of that area very quickly.
It made your
worked.
eyes
Good.
puff up?
Yes, it
Or-
made my eyes puff up. I
That's
could not
crazy.
open them. They were red. I was like crying, so it's like, no.
Mm.
It's strong stuff.
And it was like a quick reaction, or you had
No,
to...
no. It was building up for a few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, it wasn't a quick reaction.
Yeah.
But still, but that was just a minimum, because you were like pew pew, exactly, just like Cody was like pew pew. That's all I used. And then if this woman throws an entire thing on the
Yeah.
face, I can't even imagine.
Right. Yeah. And then
And
yeah,
she was having a back and forth moment there as well, where
Yes.
she was herself, and then she
Yes.
was Coakley, is that his name?
Yes,
Coakley.
Coakley.
She was between her reality and his reality.
Yeah.
I wonder where,
He did it to both of us.
I
when
wonder how
they were
far she
cheating.
had to go to find an actual pearl handled razor. Straight razor, because that's what you
Right.
like to use.
Just finding
You
a
saw
straight
it,
razor is
yeah.
not easy in the modern
Exactly.
era.
Yeah.
If you saw it,
Uh,
it was a pearl handled
Etsy.
one. Yeah,
Etsy.
maybe.
I want to murder an old woman. Oh, there we go.
But she had the old lady had a 1930s 38 revolver.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an old school.
Yeah,
like
that
to
was
have
old
that
school,
one.
revolver.
So here's the thing. So PJ actually had she still had her conscience, but she was being. It was as
Controlled.
if controlled
Yeah.
by her gene, her Coakley gene.
Right.
Are you saying that she tried to kill this woman? I don't believe that. All right, dude.
We'll believe it.
She did.
Oh, poor woman. She was all right. I guess the pregnancy really hit her.
I'm sorry. She
I think
she
that was
looks
the
like
trigger.
the woman
That
from
was the trigger.
Titanic.
Yep.
There
I was just
there
going to say
wasn't
that.
enough
I
room
was
on
just
the,
going
on
to
the
say that.
on the door.
I was just going to say that this old lady could have been in Titanic. She's like, I'm going to throw this gem out into the ocean instead of give it to my family. And yeah,
Million dollar gym.
there's like a whole thing about how Rose is a terrible person.
Yeah, she was the bad guy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they figure out that she's gonna go after this guy next.
Well, his
The
grandpa.
guy that started the whole thing.
Yeah. Right. This is her grandfather, right?
Yeah, that's her grandpa, and she almost killed her grandmother.
Yeah. He goes to put this on, and then he's like, "Oh, it's been cut."
That's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Well, you can
That's
hear
weird.
creaky,
Those mice are getting
music.
smart.
Oh, it was the heart of the sea. That's it.
Yes.
Could have fed a third world country.
Instead, dropped it in the sea.
Oh my gosh, so
Because she
painful.
had emotional issues. Because she murdered him. But I don't know if it was murder or just neglect to let Jack die.
So she goes after this felon.
He goes
cuts him
after
up.
Grandpa. You did this to me.
There's that neat
And
old
there's the
truck.
old truck. Yep. All.
Which is an oddly good shape. It's not
It is.
corroding at all.
They're trying to
For-
make it look old by
Yeah.
taking the tires off
For
of it and
50.
opening the hood, but the
Yeah.
paint on it's still really good.
Yeah,
You
that's
want
what
to
they're
see a
doing.
bunch of
That's
junk
50
cars?
And
years
she's got a
later,
really
there it is.
creepy.
Knife.
Her voice has changed, and she's got a really
Yeah.
creepy voice.
Well, it's kind of like his voice. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, in comes Mulder and Scully. No, Mulder, just Mulder.
Well, it's just
Yeah,
Mulder at
Scully's-
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
busy doing something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and this will be. We need a counter on the screen of how many times
Oh.
either of them have lost their weapon.
Yeah. Mulder gets bonked on the head.
Yep, and
Mhm.
he's like,
She
"Oh my
gets
god!"
she gets nailed in the head with an oxygen tank, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Yes.
he would have come out of this.
It's like,
He's still conscious.
kind of cuts Mulder a little bit.
Someone's
Yeah.
got to pay. It's not going to be me. And then I think
the
it's when the
old
old
guy
man
dies.
dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That
She's
it
still a cop.
snaps her out of it.
Yeah. She knows she's still a cop. But her skin
but she-
condition deteriorated very quickly.
Oh, like as soon as he dies,
Yeah.
it starts going away, kind of thing. Like her skin starts clearing
Yeah.
up.
Does it?
Well, because we see her soon. Well, we
Okay.
see her in 9 months. We see her in 9 months.
Okay.
Scully's she's doing her post-mortem on what happened. The lady is in a psychiatric hospital
Mhm.
Under protective care because she tried to kill herself, or she tried to kill the baby.
She tried to kill the
Tried
baby.
to kill herself. Tried to kill the baby. Okay.
There she is. Oh yeah, her skin is better.
Yeah, she looks normal again.
Yeah, yeah. I think as
So
soon as soon as
I
he
don't know what's
died-
floating around up here though.
Right.
And well, like the father.
What do you mean? What if? ZBR.
So and actually the father of the child decided to offer to adopt the child.
That's right. Yeah, the
You're talking about
lieutenant,
the lieutenant,
which
yeah.
probably was a really rough explanation for Mrs. Lieutenant.
Oh yeah.
Well, she's a coworker. She's a coworker.
Yeah,
I'm
it
very
was the
fond
90s.
of her.
He would just be like, "We're doing it."
She brings in the birthday cake for everyone's birthday. What am I going to do? I feel responsible for her.
You're right.
But so we had
Yeah.
a couple of themes tonight, though, that were not dissimilar from other themes that we've seen in the X-Files, though. The one that comes to mind, and I don't remember the name of the episode, so you'll have to forgive me. It was the cop that got murdered by his partners, and
Yes.
It was his
Oh,
daughter
what was
yeah.
it?
took on, got like, it was like, almost like a reincarnated spirit of him, and then went back to kill all the partners off. This was like maybe number 4 of a similar, not same vibe though, of a continuation of a thing. So Cannoli, you big mountain of a man.
It could only.
Sup, Kenobi?
His Batman collection is becoming extraordinary, by the way. He's getting all the books.
We can see Beard.
And White or something's happened. Whitey's here, Cannoli's here. Something's happened in the universe. Whitey, you just had it. Wasn't it just Whitey's
These are fun
birthday?
episodes. Just jumping in back.
Right.
Sorry, if you see me animating, that's probably not actually me talking.
All right. These were, the second one was better than the first. 12 was better than 11, but they're both still pretty mid-tier episodes.
Yeah, they're pretty
You know,
good.
not terrible. We've seen bad ones. This was not that. That vampire episode was probably my least favorite. Jacob.
Yeah,
the power
yeah,
or the
I agree.
Power of 3, I think it was called.
The one where there's
3.
in LA.
It was just
the
3.
the Trinity, the evil Trinity, or the dark Trinity, whatever.
Yeah,
they were
the one
calling
that's
it.
in LA and it's got like
Yeah, that was weird.
clubs.
That one was bad. That was a flat out bad episode. See,
Yeah,
these were better than that.
I think that's the worst episode in the
Ever?
first 2 seasons.
Okay. Well, maybe not ever, because we're going to see some bad ones later on. I'll be in my 60s by the time
later
we get
on,
there, but
there's
they're
some bad
there.
ones.
There.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's a few years down the road. Unless we just have an X-Files night and start doing X-Files weekly.
Or you can do let's watch all the bad episodes first so that we can get them out of the way.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
There you go. But yeah,
How much more is this a 24 episode season, Jacob?
I believe so. Let me check real quick.
So we're not quite halfway through. We're about
Yes.
we're over halfway through.
Yeah, we're this is probably about halfway through right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's in because I don't remember a lot of it. Like for me, like I may have seen it one-offs back in the day, and then I have nothing after that. So these are almost like first-time watch-throughs with me, which is fun. You know,
Yeah,
mostly fun. It's largely fun. It's not.
I think the best episode of season 2 is Humbug. That's like my favorite episode. It's the one with the carnies.
Oh Lord, have we hit that yet?
Haven't seen that.
No,
one.
Thank God.
That's
Carnies
coming up.
freak me out. They're little hands. No, it smell like cabbage. It
is a fun episode.
What?
Okay.
You said smell like cabbage.
That would
It's from
probably
Austin
smell like
Powers.
cabbage.
So I married an axe murderer. I don't remember. It was one of the two. It was Mike Myers joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carnival folk, tiny hands, smell like cabbage. You know, it flows. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are our
Yeah,
next ones that are on the blotter, Jacob?
Next ones are Irresistible and Die.
We're just going in order,
Something.
right?
Yeah, we are.
Just
So
yeah,
episode
okay, we're just going
13,
in order. Yeah.
13 and 14.
Irresistible, and 14, Die Hand, and
Okay.
Die Hard almost.
I can't pronounce
I don't remember those from
almost
just
Die
the
Hard.
title episodes. There are certain ones that you do, like Home. Home, I remember the episode from the title. That's also a very creepy episode.
Yeah. Humbug
Diane
is episode 20.
Furlets.
Yeah.
That one looks weird.
Yeah, that one is weird. I think it's a witch one.
Okay, so we're not
those
on
episodes.
to overall arc episodes for, it sounds like, a little bit then. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
a
got
little
like
bit.
some
Yeah,
kind of satanic thing in with it or something.
Ooh.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, not a fan of those. But yeah. So yeah. There was
Good
X-Files.
Good episode 12.
Yep. Yeah,
Well, it was fun getting to see that actor. Like I said,
that
Well,
always seems to be. We'll go over two, and one's good, one's not so good,
one's not so good.
or just
So,
not
if I'm
good
not
at all.
mistaken, this was the first time, and I'm not going to wager that it was the last time, but I don't remember that Terry O'Quinn was on X-Files.
He's on some other ones too.
Okay, and like I said, and I know that Chris Carter, he also did Millennium. He did the two shows going at the same time. Because same universe, there's also a crossover episode between Millennium and X-Files, which is creepy AF. It's a really brutal episode. I don't remember if they had the crossover, like half on X-Files, half on Millennium, because they would do that kind of stuff back then. But the combined episode is like, ooh, ghibli. It was really good. So, and I don't know, I'm not even sure when that happens, because I don't remember when Millennium was on. Let me see here.
Yeah, it was like
it was only on one season.
95, I think. I think it started in 95.
No, that's not it. The Millennium 1993. That's not what I wanted to know.
But then later on in the X-Files seasons, we get some like lighthearted, almost funny episodes. Kind of a change from the regular.
The show was called Millennium, right? Friends,
Yeah,
in the chat. It was Millennium, right? I'm not having one of Roman's moments. I'm trying to. It's not coming up. It's like it
Millennium TV series.
Yeah, you're talking about that had what's his name in it?
Look up.
Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
And not Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, Lance Hendricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just had it pulled up a second ago.
I see it on Wikipedia. Millennium TV series.
1996. There we go. Lord.
1996.
I knew it was one of
So
those.
96 to 93. Actually, so I actually did have, it had more than one season. I thought it only had the one.
96 to 99.
I'm sorry, 96. I went back in time.
Yeah.
That was not helpful to anybody.
Back to the Future.
So I don't know what years of the X-Files that would be. What do you know what year we're on now, Jacob? Are we in 93 now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
93.
93. Let's see.
So
94.
this is season 2, so 90.
Actually, you know what?
That would be like season 5.
We're in 94.
Yeah, because
okay.
Hold on.
It started in
So
93 and ended in 2002. 2002.
Yeah.
And there was a
Okay.
re-release.
So like season 4. Let me see if I can find it in the broader base of the. It's because it's an interesting thing, and I don't know if it will come up in our normal viewing.
So episode 11 premiered December 16th, 94. And then, why did I think it was 93? Huh. And then the next one was in January of 95, episode 12.
Yeah. The kind of X-Files would like come out toward the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it'd be like first few episodes were 94, then 95.
So it's the
mid-range.
4th episode of season 7 of X-Files.
So I take that back. I
Yeah.
was not in Turkey. I was in Tucson, Arizona. It's during that time. So maybe that's why I remember it.
Is the crossover though, and both Fox and Dana are still on the show. It's not one of those where one of them is gone kind of things. They're both on
What
it.
season did that happen in?
That's season 7.
Like, because
the 4th episode of the 7th season of X-Files.
It's MeMulder, right? MeMulder.
So 1999 is when it was on.
Yeah.
Oh, when did Mulder leave? I don't remember that. And that's going to be more digging. But because Mulder left, and then you got in
But he did
the
come
guy
back,
from
though.
Terminator 2.
He leaves and then comes back.
And then Scully leaves, and you get some girl whose name I don't know. And then I don't remember who comes back, and then it's just like a hodgepodge right off the cliff until they end the series, and then they bring it back for seasons 10 and 11 much later.
Okay, so actually, he is abducted at the end of season 7.
Oh, okay. So it's at the end of this very season that we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So that Mulder
And
gets
then they like
abducted.
send back a hitman version of Mulder or something. It's weird. It gets weird. It gets odd toward the later seasons.
I remember, and there were 2 movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first
and
one was
then-
amazing.
The one, is
I
that the
love
one
the
with
one.
the bees?
Yes.
Yeah, first one was good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love that movie. It's a really good movie.
I actually had the I had the action figures. I had a Mulder action figure.
Yes.
And
I had
Alien
those as well.
action figure. And 2, I also had one of the like person that had been stung by the bee. Really weird. It had the stretcher and the guy on the, and it was floppy.
Dang.
The guy
Yeah.
was floppy.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird stuff. I don't know what happened to those.
They're in the overhead. They're in the studio of the Empire somewhere with amongst my son's toys.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there he goes. So Mulder comes back for a final episode of season 9.
Season 9, okay. And then we get season 10, like I said, much later, and then season 11 a little bit later than that. They were okay. There were some good episodes. There were actually some good concepts in those that were years down the road. I could actually be in a home by then, by the time we start talking about that.
And now they're talking a reboot series.
I don't want to hear about a reboot
Don't.
idea. I
Please
don't
don't.
like the idea of a
No,
Cancel
reboot.
please
it,
don't.
please.
Because what they're going to do to it in the modern age is not going to make my memories of the show better. Much like modern Doctor Who has made me not want to watch any Doctor Who anymore. What they would do to X-Files would not be a dissimilar service. I imagine. Maybe I'm completely off base, but I don't think I am.
Well, I think there's enough time in between for it not to ruin the original series.
Ooh.
Oh no!
I mean,
when they
Doctor
did Willow.
Who,
Oh, poor Willow. He never
I
stood a
love
chance.
Willow. No,
The movie, everyone
I
loves.
still like the movie.
I love the movie.
You're
It's
talking about the
fantastic.
Willow show?
Yeah.
Yeah, Willow, the first movie's great. The show, garbage. Hottest garbage.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They actually. That's one of those
Really
things. Even Disney thought it was so bad they removed it from the streaming site.
Right.
You can't watch it anymore.
It was terrible. Yeah, the movie was awesome. Yeah, that was great.
Still
Growing up
is.
in that age, like being a teenager,
Mhm.
when all those movies like Dragon Slayer, Crawl,
Oh yeah, it was the best.
Conan the Barbarian, Predator, Commando,
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster, yes, Beastmaster, and
Masters of the Universe.
yep, and then D&D was hitting its stride. You
Mhm.
know, it was great.
And they
Great
even
time.
have they even
Yeah,
got
the,
the original actors. I mean, it was like,
They did.
but
Now they didn't bring Val Kilmer back, but Val Kilmer
No.
was for
no, he was
reasons.
yeah.
So
Right,
that
right,
wouldn't have
right.
worked.
Yeah.
But you're right. They did bring back original cast members, and it was woof.
It was so
It was
bad.
just the writing was terrible. It was
The whole idea was bad.
right, and it suffered from
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think like the era of around 2018 to I'm going to say 2023, 2024. Anything made during that time was just not good. It had the wrong. It wanted to have some kind of message inserted into it, and female characters were not allowed to be feminine or
Mhm.
anything like that. So it was just garbage writing. It was bad.
Mhm.
Well, it was so off base from the original. It wasn't even.
Right.
It was not similar to but also it was also bad enough on its own that you watching the original and loving the original and then hating the follow-up, you didn't even need to watch the original to watch the follow-up and hate it because it was just strictly the writing was that bad.
The other problem that it had was it was like Mad Mardigan or whatever. They kept dancing around him. Like, what are you going to do with this character? Because that's what everyone really wants to see, So
So yeah, we'll go around the horn here and see what people have coming. And next week, I think we'll be doing. When I first started the channel, I kind of had 2 movies on a single show, and it was just that kind of got lost. So I'm kind of going back and doing some of those. So next week we'll be doing The Big Country, cowboy movie, good movie, one of my all-time favorite westerns and movie.
Nice.
Okay, Shieldwall, what do you got coming?
On Thursday, I'm going to be on Roman of the Empire's channel, and we will be going over the movie. I'm trying to think of what it is right now. I know I have it here somewhere. Spectrum, yeah.
I tried.
Which I've never seen, so I got to watch that still.
You'll like it. It's
I think it'll be good. And then next week, whatever we're doing on this channel. I know you just talked about it, but I was busy trying to type something out here for
The Big Country.
Oh yeah, The Big Country, right? Which I can't remember if I've seen or not, so I'll have to watch that too.
It's Charlton Heston and Gregory Peck.
Oh wow!
Such a great movie. It's from the same director as Ben-Hur.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Okay. Maria, what do you have?
This Thursday I'm actually going to be on 2 streams. First, I'm a guest on Nicole's from the Red 5 Network. She asked me for a 15-minute to 30-minute stream. We're talking about books because I am a big bookworm. I've just finished the 3rd book of this baby, so it's just a small, light reading.
Goodness gracious!
So.
Wow.
That would take me 6 years to read.
I know, exactly. That always surprises me. You see all these, like, I'm a book girly, and I just read these 6 books, and I'm like, that's like 10 years worth of reading for me, literally.
No, I love reading. So at fantasy, I'm actually starting this one here. Anne Perry, she has a story. She passed away, but she has a very interesting story if you look her up on the internet. But a really, really good author. And after that, I'm going to be jumping on my stream, which is Art and Tales, in which it's just an hour and a half in which I do you guys to see the behind the scenes of how I create different types of art, because I am an artist. And cool. And that'll be the last stream, like official stream, because I do some like surprise streams on gaming, or if I have some time and I can, do some art, I'll just pull up a stream and we go. But that'll be my last official one because I am going on vacation. I'm actually going to the Boston area for about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't know if you guys know, but I live in the northern country above you guys. So I'll be going down with a few friends. We're gonna have a blast, but I will not be streaming anything during that time. I'm just gonna be disconnecting. Nice. You'll see me on Twitter, but
that's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Boston's lovely. Very good Italian food there.
Well, I'm gonna be near the Boston area. We'll probably visit a few times, but apart from that, like moving around, visiting stuff. Yeah. So
cool.
Solid.
Yeah, that's good. That's like me.
Hope you have a good time.
Thank you.
And the Roman.
Is Beard asleep? Is Beard underwater?
No,
is Beard on a raft in the pool naked, drinking a rum?
Oh gosh, I don't want to know.
I threw Beard's link in the chat. Apparently, there's like some kind of party going on where he's at, so it's a little loud.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, there it is.
But
well, when I'm not playing Frohickey on the X-Files here on Jacob's channel, Thursday we are going to be covering the movie Spectral. Spectral's an interesting movie. Sci-fi, very good modern military warfare and horror. They got them all jammed in there. And what is cool is while it has the Netflix original stamp on it, it's not a Netflix movie. It was actually, I think, supposed to be a Universal film that just didn't end up with the studio. So that's why you have better than average Netflix things that go on in this movie. And casting. The cast is actually very good. So that's going to be a fun one I hadn't seen it before. This was a first watch for me too. Matt, the Unbearable 73, suggested it, and then Jacob's like, why don't we do that this week? I'm like, all right, man, sounds good. So here we are, this Thursday, 5 Pacific Standard, as always.
Groovy. See, I used an old word that Roman would understand.
No, and I appreciate that. I get that reference.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, great. Thanks, Shieldwall. Yeah, this was enjoyable. I'm glad Maria was able to come on, and Roman. That was a good discussion there. I had fun.
Yeah.
Glad
thank you so much for the invite.
Beard could show up in a way. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you could make it. Well, I hope everybody has a good week. Thanks to the chat. Oh, and just to reiterate, thank you to all the new subscribers, the people that got me over to 500. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. Thanks to everybody who shared out the links and got people to see my channel. So
yeah,
that's great.
Congratulations on that.
Congrats.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Well earned, my friend.
But yeah, I hope everybody has a good week, and we will see y'all next time. And there's just let me find a clip to play. What
the truth is out there.
Play? Since we didn't get to see Beard's face, we'll play this.
Apparently Bobby is low on gas. And now that he is sitting on an incline like this, his truck will not crank. Which means we are stuck way out here in the middle of nowhere. Good times. Good times.